family, shall we do a quick update on well-being? Let's do an update. Remember, I'm learning how to be. So, um, let me share the shift that actually happens when you practice being, because it's actually a practice. It's very important that the words that I'm using are very specific for a reason. It's a practice, right? And I want to share um the shift in the operating system because I'm shifting the operating system, right? So what I got to realize that I've been living from the mind self. I've been identifying and operating from this system. And that's not where we're supposed to live, right? That's why I say we were not taught how to be, right? Like the shift is what I see that happens when I shift operating systems is that when I move from the mind self and come back into my being. And it's so interesting because even when I watch my videos back and I see how I explain the being and I literally come into, I hold my heart center and I literally drop my shoulders. That's actually what it feels like when you shift operating systems because we're not taught how to be. What happens is that you shift from working on yourself to being with yourself, right? Because we're really not taught how to be. We're taught to survive, right? We're taught because that's the mind self, right? We're taught, survival is success, right? Survival, I mean, not necessarily like and I want you, it's so important that when you hear me, you don't hear me from a place of wrong, right, bad, or good, right? It's a shift in consciousness. It's how you're moving through your life, how you're feeling and being. As I'm saying, we're not taught how to be, right? We're taught how to be ambitious. We're taught how to be successful, how to dream, right? How to earn, compete, achieve, how to avoid failure, right? That's survival. So that's you're identifying with the mind self. Like that's not a bad thing. That's a part of life, but that's not life in totality. It's so important. And when you drop into your being, you are now learning how to you come into life. That's life. That's you're learning when that's why I say like what I'm realizing is like as I'm living now mainly in my being self, I'm now switching up operating systems and I'm now moving through life through my being. Like it's so different when you're moving through life from your mind self because the mind self it's more of like performing, proving, earning, right? But when you move through life through being, you are. That's the feeling of being. Like you're not trying to prove who you are, you just are who you are. But you're moving towards your dreams not through trying to earn approval, but because it's your desire, it's an experience you're desiring from self. It's a version of you you are looking to embody, right? The states are different. The mind self state and the being self state are two different operating systems. You know, they move through life differently. So the being self, you're learning how to be with you. You're learning how to feel. Like we're not taught how to be, meaning we're not taught how to feel. We're not taught how to be with ourselves in our own lives. We're not taught how to belong in our own lives. Like that's why I was saying the shift was when I drop into my being, the shift is learning to be with myself. That's what really presence is, right? Presence is being with yourself, being in your life and owning your life. Like you can really think you are, but you're not, right? Like it's just a shift. It's a shift in consciousness. It's a shift in the lens in which you're looking at life through. It's a shift in the state in which you're living life through, right? So many of us, 99.99% of us are not taught how to be. We're taught how to survive, right? And we're even, and it's not wrong, bad, good, right? No, no, no. It's like, we're not taught life. Like life in totality is not the mind, right? Life is the experience of life right now in this moment. And whenever you drop into the moment, you just are. And life is perfect as it is, but it's very interesting because the shift for me has been I've been operating from working on myself. And that's when you're identifying with the mind self, when you're operating from this system, you are working on yourself, which means that you're not enough. You're unconsciously carrying not enoughness. You are working on yourself, which means that unconsciously, you may not be aware of it truly, that you're actually saying that there are parts of you that are not whole, right? Because you're working on yourself, self-improvement, self-development. But when you drop into your being, like being here right now, you just are. The current moment it is, you know, and it's perfect as it is. And you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And you're not working on yourself, you're being with yourself. So that's what I mean. Like when you're switching the operating system from identifying from the mind and coming into your being, you are learning to be with yourself. And you realize like with your being, when you tap into you. And that's why it's so interesting because even when I talk about my being, it's like a drop in the shoulders and a drop in just, because the mind self, it's almost like the manager you. You know how a manager, like you're managing your life. You have to do this, you have to do that, and you have to check these boxes. If you're not doing this, then you're not who you say you are. But when you drop into your being, um, it's not the same. You're not. Yeah. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. Learning how to be is learning how to feel. It's about learning how to be with yourself, learning how to belong in your own life, learning how to grieve, how to rest, how to experience, how to be here right now. That's what learning how to be, or what it really is. That's what it is. And it's like you realize when you go on this journey, you realize that we're not taught how to be. We're not taught how to feel. We're not taught how to rest. We're not taught how to belong in our own lives. It's almost like we are, it's not even almost like we are escaping our lives through surviving. And it's like this, and it's so important, like I say, like to not hear me from a place of like wrong, right, bad, or good. But it's like, it's the state. It's the way in which you are moving through life. It's how your life feels, The greatest shift really was me starting to care about how I feel. That's when my life just really just brought me to this very moment. It's the moment I started to care about how I feel, And at first, it started off as an experience of like caring how the external things make me feel. But the greatest shift was caring, caring about my feelings within me, like how I hold space for myself and letting myself feel and letting myself be. It's interesting because it's as much as like you're learning how to be, it's also about allowing yourself to be you. It's been the journey has really been about me allowing myself to be me, you know? And that's the true, to embody that, it's really about emotions. It's about learning how to feel and then allowing yourself to feel the sensations that come up. That's what being a human is, right? Yeah. Anyway, family, let me actually share something with y'all. Like right now with TikTok, it's so important for me to post every video that I record because TikTok is helping me build a muscle with myself and it's self-trust, right? Because I, and that's my theme for this year. It may just be, even 2027. But self-trust is my theme, like building trust with myself and just really trusting me. And TikTok is really helping me build that muscle. And it's so important that when I record something, I need to just post it. Because what happens is that like I will try to post it, like I'll play and listen to myself and I'm like, am I making sense? Like maybe I could have said it this way. Maybe I could. And it's like, no, babe, it doesn't even, don't make sense. At this point, don't make sense. Okay. Because you know, the thing that we really, really undermine is showing yourself that you don't trust yourself. The moment you invite doubt, that's so dangerous, man. And I would know that. And it builds. It builds. Like you can think this one moment of like me listening to my video and like, oh, let me not post this. Let me do another one. I'm not going to sound the same way. I'm not going to flow the same way. And if I could delete the first video, I'm going to delete the second video. And that just builds, like, I just know there's so much danger in that. Like, you know, just fuck up. Honestly, just fuck up. Like, fuck up more. You know, and that's what I'm learning. Like, just post the damn thing. Don't make sense. Like, who cares if you make sense? You don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I can't. Like, at this point, it's not about making sense. It's so important that I grow this muscle with myself. You know what I'm saying? And just learn to trust myself. It doesn't even allow myself to be me. That's what we just talked about, right? It's allow myself to be me and doesn't even in fact matter if I make sense to anybody. And it's like, this is beyond like, it's, man, it's, healing is such an interesting and a very big subject. Everything that in every season of your life, the thing that you are trying to focus on or trying to, I don't even know what the word is. Like, for example, for me, it's TikTok, right? Recording and like, you know, just sharing my journey with myself, sharing my journey of coming home to myself. That's a form of healing. Like if you're learning cooking, if you're starting to walk, like whatever your life in every season is calling you to focus on, that is healing. That is a form of healing. You're coming back home to yourself, right? So nothing just is. Life, I guess that's what they mean. Like life is spiritual. Everything is spiritual, you know, and everything is just always just bringing you back home to yourself. And it's like, for me, it's not even, it's not about like growing a following or like, I mean, that would be nice. You know what I mean? Growing a brand. But I mean, it's greater than that for me. It's like, it's building trust with myself and just letting myself be. That's it.